Okay, so we're meeting about the Ottawa Street project in Almonte. Patrick is here with us from P Square. He is an architectural technologist. Jasmine is the planner. Raj and Aviv are the principals. I'm the development manager here. And there's some other people who are part of the team but couldn't attend today, which is why we're recording this so I can share it with them. And so I was sharing my screen just before we started recording. And I'll just make sure, Aviv, just give me the thumbs up when you see it.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the shopping center, which is at 90 degrees to the road. So the main axis is 90 degrees to Ottawa Street in Almonte. Here's the existing food truck, which has been there for quite some time. And the plan is to stay. And maybe it can move around a little bit, but there you go. It will be staying. Aviv is going to give us an update in a few minutes about the status of the lease, but about 2,500 square feet is going to be leased to a pharmacy. And I found it very interesting that the pharmacy wanted a drive-through. And as Aviv has said, that it's not a Tim Hortons drive-through, it's not a high-capacity drive-through. There's probably 2 or 3 cars at most that come at any one time to collect whatever it is they need from the pharmacy. There are air conditioning units along this axis of the building, on this side of the building, at grade, and it would be better if we didn't move them. Then this aerial photograph shows a shed here, but I've been told that it has been removed. And then if I've got it correctly, there is some additional space here where there were some trailers, but the trailers have been moved, and I think it is used as a snow dump. Is that correct, Aviv?
Yeah, the trailers are still there, but they can be moved. Just some of the front part is used as a snow dump.
Okay, so some of this is used for trailers and some of it's used for
Yeah.
snow dump. There are existing drive-throughs. This is the Royal Bank of Canada, 2 doors over, so to speak, and they have a drive-through in the front, which is where I'm proposing that the drive-through for the pharmacy go. And then you also have a cafe next door, which has a drive-through on the side of the building. And then you have other retailers along this axis, et cetera. So just to go down a little further, I don't know if I put it in here. Yeah, this is an elevation. I think you've all seen it. There's a good pylon sign here. This is where I think the new drive-through may go. And you can sort of see the food truck. I don't really have a great computer down here, so I wasn't able to do much with the with Google Maps. But anyway, you can sort of see what it looks like here. And another question that Aviv has brought up, which I like, and I think Raj as well, is whether it might not be possible to add some mini storage containers back here, Jasmine. And the reason for that is there's trailers here and they're a little bit ugly. And what Aviv was saying, and I think Raj as well, is it might be better to either put temporary containers back here, like the ones that I'm showing on the right-hand side with the green doors, or a permanent mini storage building like this. Rather than having trailers or sea cans back there, Jasmine, it might look better and be better to provide clients in the plaza with mini storage. Aviv, these are the ones that I use. These are containers that are portable, and I buy them from Metalcor. You can buy them in 2s or 4s, and you can move them around as you want. So these would be considered temporary buildings. These buildings, the biggest mini storage manufacturer in the world is Trachte. I think they're at least biggest in North America. Trachte, Trachte, and they produce very good modular mini storage buildings. So Jasmine, it could be something that's permanent with a permanent foundation like this, or possibly it could be something like I'm using in a number of my properties, which are portable, and you plunk them basically with a forklift wherever you need them. So what I thought, Patrick, because we don't have a lot of time with you today, is maybe you could then comment on what P2 and P squared might do.
Well, basically, we'll go over the project, find out what's happening. Is the pharmacy, is going to have a building permit already? Like, is tenant fit up? It's already going to be done? Or are we dealing with the tenant fit up ourselves?
No, they're gonna do it themselves. They're gonna hire they have people to do that.
Okay. So all we're doing is basically installing the
Right.
drive-thru.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice and simple.
Yeah.
Well, it's simple as you gotta make sure as long as it goes through the planning side of things and if there's no issues, then we're good to go.
So one of the things that I was hoping, Patrick, that you might be able to do would be, I mean, if we're going to build a drive-through in the front of the building, one of the things we might be able to do is make the drive-through more of an architectural element, right? Because the plaza, if I go back to the elevation that I showed, let's see if I can find that again. The plaza, it's a decent plaza for sure, but it doesn't really stand out, right? So maybe what we could create here is a drive-through that is, an architectural element. I don't know if that's possible, but that's something I was hoping would be attractive and would make the plaza stand out.
Okay.
Hey, I'm not the architect here, brother. You are.
We'll do our best to come up with a couple different ideas and designs, and we'll see what you guys like and go from there.
Aviv, do you want to talk about what your vision was for the mini storage at the back?
The mini storage is mostly just because the tenants have expressed interest in renting them. Like one of them had the trailer back there, and the previous tenant moved out, which is the now pharmacy one coming in. They also had one of the trailers back there. So there's a lot of demand for them for all of the tenants. So it's better if we just have them in the property and they're going to pay a premium for having it beside business.
Jasmine, do you think it would be easier to get approved temporary mini storage containers like Metalcor or something more permanent like Trachte?
Well, so in the zone that the property is in, there's a special exception. So going through the parent permitted uses, commercial storage is allowed, but then in that exception zone, it's one of those ones that's prohibited.
Oh.
So they've removed, it's commercial storage. So it's more than one storage unit rented and used for the temporary storage of goods and materials rented separately. So that's how they define the commercial storage. And they've listed it as prohibited in that specific special zone that you guys are in. So I don't know if that would be even a permitted structure.
Would they, I mean, since trailers, at least theoretically, have been there for some time, well, not theoretically, have been there for some time, would it be possible to put temporary units like the Metalcor buildings in the back?
Informally, possibly. If you're declaring that we are putting storage, even if they're temporary, like storage units on the property, they'll probably deny it, or not deny it, refuse it.
Just because it's there doesn't mean it's technically allowed. They haven't said anything, right? Could be the case, but
could be just someone decided to park there, and because it's mobile, that could be how they avoided it. But because this is going to be a structure,
well, it doesn't have to be a structure. Those Metalcor sheds that I just showed you are portable. You can move them with a forklift.
The question is, do you want to ask for permission, or are you just going to put them in?
I don't know.
Better if we get permission, but
I agree, but sometimes if you ask, then they say no, then they're gonna be watching.
Yeah, you can't place it. Yeah, so we'll have to see if whichever one, see the pros and cons of each one.
Raj, what do you think?
Yeah, I think we'd go for if allowed. Do we need permit to put the temporary ones? I don't think so.
Depends on how big, right?
Wow.
Or how many?
It's commercial, you're done. You have no choice.
You have to, yeah, if it's for commercial storage.
So what I did, Raj, I own a number of these, and I can tell you that even C-cans, you are supposed to amend your site plan to show where the C-cans are going. You know what C-cans are, Raj?
You have to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna head out, Bruce. I'm gonna just listen in on my phone when I'm driving, or my assistant's driving, and I'll be watching.
All right. See you soon.
Okay, talk soon.
Yeah. All right, we got Jasmine. That's all that counts.
That's all that matters.
All right.
Sorry, what's C-cans?
They're like sea containers, right? I'll show you what they're.
Oh, okay, okay. Sea containers, yeah.
Yeah.
The big ones.
Yeah. Well, they can be small too. They're 20 footers and then there are 40 footers.
I think the one already there is a sea container.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. So yeah, I'll just show you what, oh my goodness. Man. So Aviv, how are you doing on the course?
Good, good. I did most of the first one. I just have a couple things to get back to you about, and then the second one, I'm almost done that one. I just all the reading part of it.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that separately. So Raj, this is what they look like. Give me a second here. So can you see them okay, Raj?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are sea cans or sea containers, and they're also pretty ugly, I find. But in theory, you are supposed to, Jasmine, you'll back me up on this, but you are supposed to show on your site plan where these go. Now, I could tell you, Raj, that there must be 100,000 locations in Canada, industrial and commercial, which have sea cans for extra storage. And I don't think anybody asks for permission. Certainly, I have never asked for permission. So I can't tell you that that's what you should do, but what I would do is I would simply put those portable metal storage containers, the ones that I buy from Metalcor, and I would put them, you know, in. How many do you need, Aviv?
Oh, you're on mute.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 to 6 units.
Yeah. So Raj, they look like this. I'll just make it a little bigger. So
Yeah.
these are the ones that I buy here. These ones, and like I said, they can be moved with a forklift. And I put them on any number of my properties. Be honest with you, Jasmine, I've never asked for permission.
Okay.
So these ones cost Raj and Aviv, each one of these from Metalcor. This costs, these two are 10 by 10. So there's two of them. So it's 10 by 20. Each one is 10 by 10. So they're 200 square feet.
Mm-hmm.
And they cost $5,500 plus HST. And what they do is Metalcor will bring them to your site. They will assemble them, and there they are. They'll put them in the place where you choose. So I would imagine you could put 4 or 6 of these guys on the back of your property, and probably they'll be there for 20 years before anybody complains.
Yeah, I don't think even if we have more, I don't think it'll be a problem renting them out, because I think there's a lot of demand for them. So I think the more we can put, the better. So
I would start with 4. And you know, the nice thing about it is you just put a gravel pad down and Metalcor puts them on top, right? So there's nothing to them. And if you ever did get into trouble with the city, like I said, you can move them with a forklift. Aviv, can you see the chat box?
Yeah.
So what I put in there is a 1 minute or maybe 2 minute video of Metalcor actually on one of my sites assembling them. So can you copy that out of the chat box, and then you and your dad can watch it afterwards?
Yeah, I got it.
We can watch afterwards.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, you got it?
Yeah.
So I would think you would start with 4 back there. And so one of the things, Jasmine, I was hoping you would do for Raj and Aviv would be to come up with a site plan. There would be 2 copies of it. One which would show where the Metalcor containers could go and how many. Maybe there's room for 12 back there. I don't know. You'd start with 4 of these, but you might end up with a dozen.
Yeah, until we slowly rent them out, I guess.
Once you rent them out, you get some more. So we would have 2 site plans. Jasmine has helped me this way before. Okay, we'd have one that would be for you and one that would be for the city. Okay, and don't get them confused. Don't send the wrong one to the city, okay? So the one that we'll show the city, will show how the drive-through works. And the other thing I would like you to consider, Jasmine, is whether or not the food truck is in the right area. Okay, because if this, look, I built some drive-throughs, Raj, and that are actually very beautiful. I mean, they're concrete structures that I built that are like pieces of sculpture. They don't cost any more, not very much more, but they look really magnificent. Jasmine, are you sort of following what I'm getting at here?
Yeah.
So what I was hoping to do is have a drive-through that really looks good. And one of the things I would like to put into the drive-through is not just a room to say drive-through, but a room to say, you know, to put a really beautiful sign saying whatever. Can you tell us what the name of the pharmacy is, Aviv?
They're looking at like they're still looking at their brands, but they're not really sure yet at this point of what, because they're still dealing with all the brands.
Let's say it's Almonte Pharmacy, right? So what I would like, just as a placeholder, Jasmine, what I'd like is as beautiful a structure as we could come up with a drive-through that says Almonte Pharmacy or whatever it is, drive-through. So it's an identifier, and it has to have electricity too, because you want your signs to be backlit. Do you understand? Because I mean, Ottawa is dark 6 months of the year, and if you're going to have a drive-through, you might as well have a good. And Jasmine, the sign can't be 12 inches. Minimum is 24-inch sign, because otherwise you won't see it from the road. And if you can get a sign band that's 30 inches, that's even better. All right. So we'll have a drive-through. Hopefully that will be an architectural element. It will have identification sign with electricity there. And I want you to give consideration to making sure that we can see it, and that if we have to move the food truck, you know, possibly we'll do that. It could move 20 feet, I think. Is that right, Raj?
Yeah.
And can I ask, is it one of the food trucks that is mobile, or does it have to be trailered?
It's a mobile.
Okay, so it's easily movable.
It can be.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I think that's correct. All right, so are there any other changes that Raj and Aviv, that you want to make to the pharmacy, to the plaza itself? Are there any other things? This is the time to do it.
Any suggestions?
Yeah, any suggestions on? Couldn't think of anything else, but if you have any suggestions.
Well, the one thing that I do want you to consider with Patrick, Jasmine, is also where the snow is going to be dumped. We have to leave enough room for snow.
Of course.
The one thing is they're currently the snow, like on the front side, they're dumping it onto the empty lot on the left side because no one's
Okay.
using it. And in the back, they're also doing the same kind of, and they're dumping like half on the back side of it where the trailers are, and half back on the left back side where the empty lot is. So we'll have to take that into consideration, because we can't always be dumping there if they start to build something.
Yeah, exactly. And the city obviously isn't going to want to see that.
Yeah.
And where is the garbage? Where's the garbage, Aviv?
It's in the front, I believe.
No, in the back.
In the back? Okay, yeah, maybe in the back then.
Okay.
And Bruce, just
Yes.
one question. There is a road going through our plaza to all the other lots up to the gas station. Can we use that road to enter for the drive-through?
Yeah, let's go to the Google map and see what we see here. Just hang on a second. I'll share the map. So how's the weather in Ottawa today?
Not bad. Today's not bad. The roads are clean.
Oh, that's good.
Can I ask, do you guys have a survey done for the property?
Do we have a survey done? I'm not sure.
Should be done, because we by last year and last lawyer for probably he has.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a great question. Would it be possible to, would it be possible to send me a copy of the survey too?
Sure.
All right. So my internet's a little slow here today. So Raj, I'm gonna have to share this with you instead. Hang on. All right. I don't know if you could see it. Did I lose
It's
you?
loading in.
All right. Can you see it again?
No, it's still loading for me.
Okay, good.
Okay.
So Raj, what road
Yeah.
are you to?
If you see just between the food truck and this, there is a, if you see the black spot beside your circle,
Yeah.
that's that's the road going through this one towards end of the so we can say right towards gas station on the corner.
So where's the gas station? Over here?
Gas station is on the corner. We can say
I
towards
see. This is the,
towards Canada.
again. So what is that road there? Is that an actual right of way?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
it's
If you
supposed to.
see, it shows in the Google map. Like
Yeah.
there is not actual road now, but it shows.
So that's something that the survey plan should show is all the site access.
Yeah, so the site plan agreement, like the one from 15 years ago, it showed that in the future, when the lots beside it, like all the lots on the right side, when they start having buildings on them, we're gonna have to build a road. We're gonna have to put a portion in for that expense in the front where the food truck is to pave that road and finish our part of it. And it's in the site plan agreement. It's just a pending work that hasn't been done. But
So-
that road will be done in the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, so Jasmine, Aviv asked a question, it's a good question. There are still items on the original site plan agreement that have not been done, including this one that we just talked about.
Mhm.
It is the responsibility of the owner, in this case, Raj and Aviv, to complete those works, correct?
Yeah, the current, yeah, whoever the original agreement was made out to.
Yeah. And
Correct.
Aviv, do you have, or Raj, do you have the original site plan agreement? Do you have a copy of it?
Yeah, yeah, we do.
We should. Yeah, we have. Okay.
Okay, so can you
I can
send,
share it with you.
can
Yeah.
you send that along with, excuse me, along with the survey to Jasmine? And so we need the survey and we need to see the site plan agreement. And so the answer to your question, Aviv, as to whether or not you are legally responsible as the owner to complete whatever is not complete, the answer is yes.
Okay.
Well, I'll,
So-
yeah, look over the.
Even when we're building the driveway, we'll have to do that as well.
Say that again. Aviv?
Usually there's a time frame.
Because they've been extending the time frame for the past like 15 years. It's not really necessary now. Like there's no point of paving it if nothing's on the right side of it.
I'm not saying that you have to do it now. We just have to know what your obligations are. So you're not
Yeah, of course.
5 years from now. I'm not saying you have to do it now. I'm just saying that we
Yeah,
need to know. Now, the other thing that I need to find out, we need to find out, Jasmine, is we need to find out if the previous owner posted a letter of credit.
Mm.
So, Rash, you would know,
Yeah.
this, and Aviv, that when you enter into a site plan agreement with Almonte or City of Ottawa, pretty much anywhere now, you have to post a letter of credit, sometimes 125% of the value of the works that need to be done. So it is possible that you may have to pay for some of these works, but that letter of credit would be cashed and you might get reimbursed for that because it's possible. I'm not a lawyer, so don't quote me on this, but I have been in that situation myself where I bought a site, there's a letter of credit posted by the former owner. I finished the site plan works because I wanted to get everything done. The city cashes the LC, the letter of credit provided by the previous owner, and they credit my account.
Oh, okay.
You understand? So you might get your money back. So
Mhm.
Jasmine, when you're talking to the city, can you find that out for us as well?
Yeah, I can definitely ask them about that.
The previous owner had a deposit put down in the amount of around 17,000 for the work, and we're supposed to pay that out to them whenever we complete the work. Obviously, we have an
But
agreement with them.
why would you pay that out to him when it's works that he was obligated to complete?
It was in the deal, like that was the price was negotiated that way that we were to complete the work when it came up.
Well, he may wait a long time for $17,000.
Yeah.
He may
Yeah.
wait. All right. Anyway, we'll find out what it is. Now, one more thing that I'd like to show on the private plan, Jasmine. One of the things that I think would help the food truck, but it would also help the plaza. And I've been doing this a lot, Raj, on properties that I own, is I've been putting next to retail plazas, next to food trucks, next to pizza joints, whatever. I've been putting something that I call, and Aviv, you probably read about it so far or
Mhm.
talk about it. I put something that I call playland next to a food truck or next to a pizza shop. And what I was hoping you could do, Jasmine, is find, it's not a big area. You could find a small area close to the food truck where we could have a designated area for a playland. And the playland consists of, it's not a playground for children, okay, Jasmine? It is not. It will have like an outdoor ping pong table, might have a bocce court, might have the cornhole game, which is a big tailgating game in the National Football League. So we need a small area next to the food truck where, you know, they can develop something like this. They will find that their sales will go up anywhere from 8 to 25%. It's amazing. So Aviv, do you understand the concept?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, if you're too young, you don't have any kids yet, I suppose, right? No. But you know, if you go out with your friends, you know, and you buy some food truck food, and you can, you know, play, you know, mini ping pong, or you could play bocce, or you could play, you know, any cornhole or something like that while you're waiting for your food or afterwards. It's actually a very nice thing, and you'll find that some of your tenants, you know, on their lunch break, they'll go and they'll get something from the food truck, and they'll play something like that. Do you understand the concept, Jasmine?
Yep, I remember we were discussing it for another project.
Exactly. And I've been building these things, I mean, next to like pizza joints that I own and fast food places for a long time, and it works really well. And what's nice about it is that obviously kids can play, but adults can play too. So adults aren't just sitting around getting fat. All right. So Aviv and Rash, are there any other site plan changes or site plan amendments or site plan requirements that you can remember or think about that Jasmine needs to know about?
It was just the road one that was needed to be done.
Yeah.
The storage trailer in the back needed to be removed, but the previous owner did that because it was there without a permit. So they already sorted that out with municipality.
All right. So Jasmine, what is the next step?
Well, next step, I would prepare a planning proposal for you to go through, probably a pre-consult and the site plan design. Was the site plan design something you discussed with Patrick, or is P2 working on the working drawings only, not the site plan?
No, I want you to do the whole thing.
Okay, so I'll discuss with Patrick whether he wants the site plan design to be part of the planning proposal or the P2 proposal. Either way, it'll be in one of the proposals. But yeah, I'll
do one proposal, which is to help with the site plan, to help with the planning, to help with the design. I think it's just one proposal. It makes it easier.
okay. I'll discuss that with Patrick.
With Patrick, yeah. Raj, have you got a constructor in mind? Have you got somebody that you like and trust who can build this thing?
So far, no. But if you have anyone, you can recommend.
So Jasmine, the other thing that I know we've worked with a number of builders, we need somebody who's good at what he does, and we need a recommendation on that.
Will do.
So right now, Jasmine, just for your notes, I'll tell you who is on our team, okay? Our team consists of me as the development manager. Design is obviously Patrick. Aviv is going to do most of the liaising with us because his dad is kind of busy. In terms of structural issues, we're going to use Paolo. Do you know who Paolo is?
I haven't worked with him, but I know he's worked with us on a number of projects.
Paolo Trevisan, I think. For any changes to our civil work, it's Doug Gray. And for the actual design of the traffic solution, it'll be David Halpenny. All right, David Halpenny. The only name that we don't have on the list is a constructor yet. We need somebody, like I said, who's reliable and trustworthy. Once we have a proposal from Jasmine and Patrick, and we have a constructor, and we have the rest of our team assembled, then we can get a better estimate of the cost of this thing.
Okay.
So we don't know yet what it costs, and I have some suggestions that we'll talk about after the call, after Jasmine leaves the call, about the cost of the project. So we'll talk about that in a minute. Aviv, can you hear me okay? Is it fading in and out?
No, it's good.
Okay, good. So Jasmine, your next step would be a proposal, and if you don't mind, phase it.
Sure.
Right, because phase one, I think you're right, is that this group, Raj and you and me and Aviv, we should do a pre-consultation, which we'll do on either Zoom or Teams. So that should be by itself, because if we run into some sort of really big fundamental issue, we don't have to spend any more money. I don't expect that, Raj.
Yeah. Okay.
The first thing we'll do is we'll talk to the city. And one of the things that I'm sure Jasmine, I know Jasmine's good at it, and I'm sure you are too, Raj, is we don't want to tell the city too much. We're going to keep it very simple. We're going to say we're signing up a pharmacy. It's a low traffic drive-through. We're probably going to put it in the front of the building. What do we need to do? That's it. All the other stuff, we'll just keep to ourselves, okay?
Especially for, I don't know about in Mississippi Mills, but for Ottawa, there's the informal version and the formal version. So this would just be a very informal meeting, and all we'll need to prepare for the meeting is like basic concept and a few notes. We don't need to have all of the drawings prepared or anything like that.
Correct. It's just a little bit better than my sketch, right, Jasmine? Sorry, it's really hot here. I got to keep drinking. All right, Jasmine, I think that's it. Send the proposal. You've got Raj and Aviv's email address, of course, mine as well. So send it to the three of us.
And if it's possible, sorry, just before we complete the proposal, I'd love to see the survey plan at least, or the survey plan and the site plan agreement would be great.
Yeah, no, you not do the proposal until you get that. I agree.
Yeah. Okay.
For sure. And Aviv, by the way, Aviv is very good. He's on his email all the time, so you can. He's young.
Excellent. Okay, great. Well, if there's nothing else that you needed from me, then I'll talk to you all soon, I guess.
Yeah, look forward to it.
Bruce, last question.
Sure.
The pharmacy guys are curious to know which way the drive-through will go.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
The drive-through, the cars will go from towards the right side or from the left side?
Oh, okay, I see.
It will be from because
The driver's side is on the left, so how are we gonna make it all the way around? That's what they were kind of curious about.
Sorry, let me look at the site plan. So if the only site entrance, I'm assuming we're not using the one that travels across the other lot, the vacant lots. They would be
Well-
coming in.
We're wondering if we can use that one as well, if you can.
Well, once I see the survey, I can
Yeah.
see what, if it's actually an established road. I might go out there and actually see what the condition is like.
Mhm.
If it's actually being used, or if the city will allow that to be the proposed site entrance. Because I don't, it's not really clear which one they're using right now.
So Raj,
Yeah,
Raj, I think what you're saying is that a car would come in like this
Mhm.
and would drive through like that.
and
And-
go back. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably this will be.
It's the only way.
What-
It's the only way because Jasmine, can you see this?
Yeah, I can see.
I think there's enough room, you know, by the way, I have a master's degree in traffic and transportation engineering. So this is, I haven't plotted it out yet, but I'm pretty sure there's enough room. These are cars, not semi-trailers. You know, you can come in here like this, down here, over here.
Yeah.
So you're picking up on the driver's side, which is absolutely essential.
Yeah,
So when you sketch it out, that's the sketch that we're going to show the city.
Makes sense to me.
And the other thing that I know you want to know, Raj and Aviv too, is how long is this whole thing going to take? Like,
yes.
I was going to ask you, Aviv, when do these people want to open for business?
As soon as the drive-thru is open and they're done fit up. So they're anxious to open it.
I get that. Are they talking a 2-month fit up, a 4-month fit up, a 5-month fit up?
About a 4 to 5 month fit up.
Yeah, I would think so. And given how difficult it is these days to do any sort of work,
Yeah.
I think it's more likely their fit up is going to take 6 months.
Mhm.
So Jasmine, what we're going to do is we're going to try and set up a schedule that's between 5 and 6 months to get the design approval and construction done, and so that they can get their fit up done as well at the same time. So we're talking, today is January, we're talking probably a May or probably a June opening. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
but they'll I guess they'll only start the fit up when the drive-thru is approved.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But the approval, hopefully we can, you know, do the design drawings. And Jasmine, how long are they taking to issue building permits in Mississippi Mills?
I honestly couldn't tell you because I don't think, well, at least P2 in the projects I've been involved in hasn't really done a whole lot in Mississippi Mills. But I can ask a couple other people that have projects in the area. They might have a better idea.
Add that to your list of to-dos. We should get a sense of it. In small towns where I'm working, Raj and Aviv, building permits are taking, approvals are taking 3 or 4 weeks. Okay.
Okay.
City of Ottawa can be longer. I mean, fortunately, I had a small house that I was building, and the approval process, it was a beautiful little bunkie for one of my kids, 542 square foot bunkie. It took 4 months to get it approved.
Wow.
542 square foot bunkie on piles, 1 bedroom for one of my daughters. Almost 4 months to get it approved. But in like where I'm active in Belleville and other towns, 3 or 4 weeks is reasonable. All right. The sooner we get the pre-consultation done, as you said, it's an informal pre-consultation, Jasmine. And the sooner we get your proposal approved and we get the plans in for, you know, hopefully it'll take 3 or 4 weeks, not 3 or 4 months like Ottawa does sometimes. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, sounds good. Okay.
Right. Jasmine, thanks.
Thank you so much, guys. Nice meeting you.
Thank you,
Thank
Jasmine.
you.
Bye.
Just so you know, Jasmine is one of the few planners who really understands the difference between what you show the city and what you actually build.
Okay.
Aviv, you can see she's a young woman, right? So she, if you like her, and I think you will, she's somebody you'll be able to work with for, you know, probably a couple of decades.
Mhm.
And to have somebody like her, who's very practical and will stay, and she's strong, right? I mean, she won't let the cities, boss her around. She'll stand up to them. I think that's a real ally for you. Okay. All right, so I have a couple more questions for you. Raj, what do you think this plaza is worth today?
With all these leases and everything, if we do the pharmacy one and there are 2 renewals, if we go same like we did 15 plus. So if you calculate everything, maybe in coming 2-3 years, it will be around 2.5 million.
How many
Just-
square feet? How many square feet is it?
It's around 8,000 square feet.
8850. So
88.
89. Yeah, almost.
8850 square feet. I'm just taking some notes. And you think the value will be 2,500,000 within 2 years. I'm just taking notes.
Within 3 years, because the pharmacy lease will be in peak in coming 4th year, 5th year, I believe.
Third year, yeah. The third year goes to 26.
Let's take 4 years. In 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
And Raj, what is the net operating income approximately on the 8850 square feet? What's the net operating income, say 4 years from now?
Probably near
In 4 years.
4 years. Let me just calculate that real quick. Sorry.
It's
4 years. See. Just give me a minute. So much did they pay? I'm just trying to see what they all pay currently and
Well, Aviv, as you know, it's very easy to calculate. If you've got 25
yeah, I'm just
square feet, $25 a square foot triple net, you know.
I'm just trying to see the lease for a couple of the units which are gonna stay for like a couple of years.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to see. I think I sent you everything. Yes, so this one is 15,000 a year. And hopefully this one will be around 17 for 100 square feet, 3,400. And hopefully this one around 17 as well. Square feet, so 40,800. So around 4 years, we're expecting $172,000 a year in net operating income.
Net operating income. Okay. Can you see my document here?
Yeah.
All right. So, Raj, what fair market value cap rate are you using?
5.5.
Okay. All right. So if we take the 172,000
divided by 5.5.
divided by 5.5%, what we get?
3.1 million.
You're way faster than me. It's not fair. Yeah, so we get 3,127,000. So I think this is where you're trying to get to. I think you're trying to get to about a 3.1 million value within 4 years, not 2.5, Rash.
Yeah, so it will take 4 years for sure.
I beg your pardon?
Because it will take at least 4 years because we will be peak in coming years.
Now, does the $172,000 a year, does that include, Aviv, does that include the food truck?
No, it does not. It doesn't include the food truck.
So
we can add around 6,500 if we prorate it for 4 years. So
yeah, so we'll
food truck
$500 we get from them.
that could add around, say that could add around So say we do 6,500 by 5. So that's around 118,000 more of value.
So I'm just gonna check it, because these are really important numbers, and I'll tell you where I'm going in a minute. And I'm sure you guys have already figured it out. So 178,500 divided by 0.055. Yeah, it's about 3.2 million. All right.
And this is based on the unit. One of the units is under rented for next 4 years.
Yeah.
So it's at a really low rent. So I just put that in as well, that it's there. But after that, it should increase more.
Yeah, I think you'll do better than this, but I think this is reasonable. So if we take this amount and we divide it by 8,850, that works out to $367 per square foot. And Raj, you're a realtor and a developer and an investor. You know, if you look at successful plazas, they're all selling in the $300 to $400 range, right? You cannot. I mean, I don't think you can buy a plaza today for 280, 250. I mean, you bought one. What did you pay for this thing?
1.325 million.
How much?
1.325 million.
Oh, you did very well.
Plus, there is we negotiate for the work to be done by the municipality. It will cost around 80,000.
Yeah, all right. 1.3.
And plus the 2.5.
Okay, million. Plus.
And the roof needs to be done, which is around
Roof.
plus 8,000.
How much for the roof, Aviv?
50,000 approximately.
Okay, and what was the other work that you have to do?
The road and the roadway, so that's around 85,000.
Road plus drainage for that.
We have to put catch basins in.
Okay, and how much is that worth?
85,000.
All right. Okay.
So
And
100,000 because this is the old cost.
100,000.
100,000.
Yes.
Okay. And how much debt do you have on the property now? What's your mortgage?
Mortgages with Scotiabank at fixed rate until 2027. So 5-year fixed at 3.9%.
Wow, that's great.
3.9.
Yeah, and it is so we bought it at 25% down. So it was 993 when the debt was 993 when we bought it, but it should be around 960 now, I think.
Okay.
Because that was about 8 months or about a year ago now, around 10 months ago when we started.
All right. So the mortgage now, it's with the Bank of Nova Scotia. It's fixed at 3.9% until 2027.
March
correct?
of 2027, yeah.
Okay. And do you have an appraisal on this property?
Yeah, appraisal was at 1.325 in March.
Same as your purchase price. Who did the appraisal?
Northbrook Appraisals, it was a person named Robert Cribbin.
Hang on a second.
So Bruce, one thing we need to add the cost with what we are planning for drive-through
Yeah, I know that.
as well.
We'll do that in a second. Appraised, and was Aviv, who was it appraised by?
Northbrook Appraisals, his name was Robert Cribbin.
Can you send me that as well?
Yeah. Appraisal?
Yeah. How do you spell his last name?
Gribbon.
I don't know if I got it right.
That actually, yeah, it was North Broadfoot, sorry, not Northbrook.
I'll get it right. Okay, you're right. up here.
And
plus-
Robert Gribben.
Did I spell it wrong?
Yeah, it's GRIBBON. Double BON.
Hopefully I got it right. So what do you think this drive-through is going to cost, Raj? It's not cheap.
Yeah, we have no idea. That's, you know better than us.
Yeah, it's like building a room, and it's got to be safe, and you want to build it so it's going to be a concrete and steel structure. So I don't know. I hate guessing, but whatever.
Do you have like a range that you
Any
was
estimate?
I'm just putting in a number. I just put in $200,000. I hope it'll be less than that. All right. So what is the plan, Raj, to finance the roof, the roadway, the drainage, and the drive-through?
we need to finance it? I don't think.
So drainage and the road, we don't know when they will ask. The municipality will ask, maybe.
Yeah, maybe later.
And roof probably we need to do coming summer.
Yeah.
So that will be 50,000 plus. So Bruce, still is that much 200,000 will cost?
Are you talking about the drive-through?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I mean, the last one I built, I did it for 100 grand, but that one was before the pandemic, and labor costs and inflation and everything else. I mean, I hope it doesn't cost this, but I don't want to tell you it costs 100 grand. I did one for the Royal Bank myself, and we spent about $100,000 on it, but that includes some ramping and other things. So hopefully it'll be less than that, maybe half of that, but I don't know. So don't take that as gospel, Raj. It's just a placeholder number. It's just that we want to make sure that we know that we have a budget, and if we can chop that by 50%, well, we'll do that. But that's a placeholder number for now. It obviously depends on whether you're going to protect it from the weather or not. So typically it depends on the design, right? Are we going to have a drive-through that protects the vehicle and the occupants, or are we just going to have one of those things that doesn't? That's a big difference. If we, and you need to think about that, Raj. That's something you need to think about, whether you want, when you go and fill up your car with petrol, right? You have a roof over the petrol tanks, you have a roof over the vehicle as well. But here you may not. What you may do is you might just simply have some cover that at least keeps the rain off of the operator, and that's it. And that's a lot cheaper. So you need to think about that. Those are different alternatives, right?
Yeah.
So we're not going to make that decision today. The question I have for you is, I suspect once this lease is signed, that the value of your plaza will be probably much closer to 2 million or even 2.5. And one of the things I was going to ask you is did you like your appraiser? Did you like Robert?
We really have an opinion about him. He got us our appraisal at the purchase price, so.
Yeah, well, that wasn't very helpful. But
yeah,
one of the things that I thought we should do, and of course it's up to you, I'm here just to support you two guys. But one of the things I thought we should do is we should ask the appraiser, look, with this new lease, with this pharmacy, and with a drive-through, what do you think the value of the plaza will be after this lease is in place and the drive-through is done? And one of the things that I think we could do is we could show him that, in our opinion, the building will be worth, with all the leases, within a few years, it'll be worth $3 million. This is called anchor pricing. In other words, Raj, you and I and Aviv would send to Robert some calculations and say, look, I mean, Raj, when was the last time you did a comparative market analysis?
Mm, because I didn't do after this hike interest rates, everything is changed now. So this was done maybe more than a year ago.
The appraisal, or are you talking about the?
He's talking about the appraisal, like comparable to appraised property or.
What I'm saying though, Raj, is what you and I should do, because you're a realtor, so am I. I'm a coach, I'm a teacher, but I'm also a development manager, but I'm also a realtor. We should do a CMA, right?
Yeah.
And we should give that to Robert. And we should say, look, we think the building is going to be worth 3.2 million within 4 years. But after we finish the drive-through and we finish whatever, we think it's going to be worth 2.5 million. That's what, Aviv, that's what's called an anchor price. You anchor in his mind a high price. And then we ask him the question, what do you think the appraised value would be? He's appraised it at 1.325 million, but let's say he comes back, we think it'll be worth 2.5 million. He says, well, it's worth 2 million. It gives you a reason then to go back to Scotiabank if you wanted to and say, could you top up your mortgage? I'm not saying you have to do that, but that's what I would do.
Okay, and would the appraisal, the Robert, charge a new appraisal, or would he just modify the existing one?
Well, he would modify the existing one. I mean, how much did you pay for the appraisal?
Around $3,000.
Yeah. So usually what they do is they give you a letter, a review letter, and that's $1,500 as opposed to 3,000. It still costs money. These guys charge money, but so we'll call it a reporting letter. Update. And we say the fair market value now after pharmacy is, I mean, we're just going to make up a number and we'll justify it. And that becomes what I call an anchor price. It's really important to do this because otherwise these appraisers, they come back and they're really working for the lender, not you. And then ask Bank of Nova Scotia. So you don't want to do anything with this mortgage. I mean, 3.9% till 2027. You don't want to touch that. That's a great mortgage. But what they'll sometimes do is they'll top it up and say, give you an extra $200,000 or more if you wanted it. And that will be at the current rate. So right now it's 3.9. The additional money might be at 6.5, but it's just on the 200,000, not on the million. To top up existing mortgage. So Raj, if you were to ask for more money from the Bank of Nova Scotia, how much would you, I mean, I'm not saying you have to do it, but if you wanted to take out money from the plaza, how much would you ask for?
I believe we can use a line of credit for now. And once everything is done, because we have a line of credit from Scotiabank too.
How much is the line of credit?
It's how much is Aviv?
It's around 200,000.
Okay. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, it's that line of credit. I'm good with you using your line of credit. I understand that. It makes sense to me. But what I would want to do is, after it's all finished, is I'd want the bank to top up the mortgage.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm just asking you, do you want to buy any more real estate?
Yeah.
And so, you know, let's say we got a $2 million valuation for this, and your mortgage is, as Aviv told me a moment ago, is $960. Take $400,000 out if you wanted to.
Yeah. Just the thing is, like, it's not really like I don't think we need to take out the money yet to buy another one. Like, we already have a enough to buy another one without taking it out. So maybe we'll try to spend that money first without just paying interest on this debt.
Fair enough. I just wanted to make sure that you've looked at all the options.
Yeah, we're definitely interested after we
Yeah.
spend.
It's a it's a Bruce. It's very good you explained this thing. We'll keep in mind. So
If we
once
were to buy if we need to buy another property after we use the money that we have.
Right, but the time to ask, your dad will know this, the time to ask a bank for money is when you don't need it.
yeah.
Raj?
Yes, you're right.
So Aviv, that's really important. So yes, you have a good relationship with the Bank of Nova Scotia. So do I. Just before we got on the call, I was talking to the Bank of Nova Scotia. They froze my accounts because I'm here in Mexico. They did. So I can't get access to my bank. You know, I was just doing some e-transfers yesterday, and because it's from Mexico, they said, "Oh, you got to call us." Have you tried calling your bank lately? It takes an hour to get through. So what I'm saying to you is, if you want to buy more real estate, I mean, Aviv, you were talking about some mini storage buildings that you were thinking of buying. The time to ask the Bank of Nova Scotia for money is before you actually committed to the next investment.
Bruce,
Yeah.
Bruce, we need one suggestion. There is one property in close
New
New
Brunswick.
Brunswick. So, Aviv, can you show Bruce?
Yeah, I'll show just one question I have before that. Would you recommend us just getting a line of credit on the plaza? Do they just top up a line of credit? Say they give it at 35% of already like the existing mortgage?
Yeah, I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. I think that's a great point, Aviv. That's
Because
very
if we don't like we'll still have access, even if it's a bit of a higher rate, we'll still have access to the money, but we don't have to start paying interest.
So what I said was you could ask the Bank of Nova Scotia to top up the existing mortgage, or you can arrange a separate line of credit on the plaza. Either one is, I think that makes a lot of sense. Okay.
Because I don't think if we start paying interest right away and then the money is just sitting in the bank, it won't really be beneficial.
Your suggestion is better. All right, I'm going to stop sharing. And Aviv, I'm going to share these notes with you afterwards. Okay, I'll send them. All right, so Aviv, I made you the co-host so you can share your screen. I'm just going to get some more water. Excuse me for a second.
Yeah, I'm going to open it up. Yeah, 1 second. Only 1 second. Let me open the LOI as well.
ਅਭੀ ਇੱਕ ਪੁੱਛੀਏ ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਉਹਦੀ ਥਾਂ ਜੇ ਐਡ ਕਰ ਲਈਏ
ਮੈਂ ਪੁੱਛਦਾ ਲਿਖ ਲੈਣਾ ਕਿ ਲਿਖੀ ਵੀ Okay, let me open it.
Bruce, by the time, let me ask you one question. Can we add one unit at the end of the plaza?
That is a great idea. Hang on a second. I have a cold, that's why I'm struggling. Okay, where am I going? Oh, you're sharing your screen, Aviv.
Oh, should I? Sorry.
Hang on a second. I'm gonna stop your sharing just for a moment.
Yeah, I'll pause it.
Yeah, okay.
All right, sorry about that. I wasn't sure what's happening. Now I am. All right. So tell me what your vision is for the end unit here.
So I think you're just thinking instead of the, like, you see where the shed is?
Yeah, beside where there is a shed.
Yep.
Can we add
An
15
additional,
or 2,000 square feet to?
instead of the storage units, maybe that could be an idea.
So I want to say, Raj, that is absolutely brilliant. I think that's great. I mean, you could, Aviv, you could still put a couple of storage units somewhere. There's always room for those storage units, all right? So let me just boot this up for a second, my paint.
Because it wouldn't cost that much to construct it, and anyways, it's just adding on to a part of a building, I guess.
Now that's a
Well-
really strong idea. Hang on a second.
A lot of the soft costs would get wiped out.
That is such a great idea. I'm gonna make this a little bigger. Oops, didn't work very well. I'll try again. This computer is really slow. All right. Try one more time. Yeah, it'll have to do. So one of the things that you might consider doing, Rash, that is a really good idea. Let's do it in orange. Line here. And put that here. Big one. One of the things you might consider doing is adding a unit that kind of looks, oh, hell. That looks kind of like this. All right, come on. Do you have a food operation in here right now?
There is a brewery, but no food.
Okay. You'll see where I'm coming from in a minute. So one of the things that would be really helpful, Raj, is if you put a new unit here, do you notice what I did here by making it kind of stick out like this?
Yeah.
Because if you're driving up here, can you see my cursor moving back and forth? A unit at the end would be invisible, but if this was, if this was a food service, like you were talking to, was it Pizza Hut?
Yeah.
Yeah, you might not get Pizza Hut here, but if you did this sort of thing here, that would really stand out. And then, I know I'm crazy about this idea, but then this area here, which I'll show in red, you may not have the parking for it, but whatever.
That's what I was thinking, 'cause that takes up a lot of parking.
Oh, yeah, it does. But what I'm saying is you would end up using this area, this area back here in white for parking, and how to get there, I'm not sure yet. But this could be a food service, or it could be another plaza, another tenant use. The amount of parking you need if it's a restaurant is much higher than if it's, I don't know, pharmacy, whatever. But I think that's a great idea.
I just thought of another idea actually. So see how you made the orange box?
Yep.
So what if we have a pillar like on the side to the cafe, the orange line? If there's a pillar there and a pillar near the plaza, and there's like a hoop through so cars can go to the back as well, and it's just a place for the sign.
Yeah, that'd be great. So, oh shoot.
It'd be like a drive-through without the drive-through, just so cars can go back.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
I don't know. This computer is really something. All right, I got to save this thing. It's not letting me. All right, I'll do it afterwards. But Raj, that is such a good idea. And I like what you're saying, is that the reason I wanted to project out like that is it's much easier to lease something like that, Raj, than something that's just another bay hidden at the back. And your idea of the cars being able to drive back and forth here to the back to park is absolutely outstanding. So I think yes. So after our call is over, with your permission, I'm going to send that to Jasmine as well, because that is a strong idea, and it would add tremendously to the value of the plaza.
Mhm.
So when we're doing that, that's the kind of question we should ask at the pre-consultation. Do you understand?
Yeah.
That I'm not afraid to ask, because it's consistent with the zoning, and we say, look, we're
Yeah.
thinking about, but what we won't do is, we won't call it a restaurant, because as soon as we call it a restaurant, they'll say parking is impossible. Just call it an additional retail day.
Yeah, because I think the only way it could work is there's like a hoop around it, actually, like a drive-through type thing. Cars come to the back and park and have like a small shop in the back.
Yeah, no, it's an outstanding idea. That would really be exceptional. All right, and what would you charge? I'm going to ask Aviv this question. What would you rent that one for?
I would say $18 to $20 per square foot.
How much?
$18 to $20 square foot.
I think between 18 and 22. And the reason for that is it's an end cap. Do you understand what an end cap is?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
And it's a newer unit. It's built to
Yeah.
suit. So
The one at the front where the pharmacy goes is an end cap.
Yeah.
And if you do the roof line correctly, oh, that's really exciting. Raj, I give you an A+ on that one. Okay.
Okay.
Aviv, you share your screen now.
yeah, sure. So I don't know how to get rid of the bar on top. I don't know why it's not going away. I just can't click anything in the middle of it. Or hide video. Oh, show video then. There we go. Okay, good. So this is the thing we're looking at in New Brunswick.
Yeah.
It's a government office retail building, so it's around 19,000 square feet. It's around 18,000 square feet actually, 17.9. And it's in a small town. It has around like 5,000 population, but it's in a good area. It's right beside Tim Hortons KFC. It's in like the main retail strip. There's two tenants. There's three tenants actually, and I can show you the rental as well. All the financials here. So there's the province of New Brunswick as one of them, Service Canada as one of them, and there's a small autism camp as one of them, but they're mostly just a charity thing, so they're not paying that much anyways. But their lease is very short, just because it was empty. So let's try that. There we go. This is the rent roll for it. Oh, there we go. So this is the province of New Brunswick at semi-gross 22.98, 2.5, 7 additional, 314 till 2028, and then both the government leases are till 2028, and they mostly just renew together. They've been there since I think 1997. And so they renew together, and this one it's just at like $5, but I think they're just trying to cover the operating expenses here, and it's kind of a charity thing.
How many square
And
feet?
Pardon me?
They have 1,300.
Yeah, so it's not a big
Go
deal.
back to yeah. Go back to the. Do you have a street view there?
Yeah, I can open a street view. It's a bit hard to find one because it's a bit of a smaller town, but I can try to find one. Yeah, so somewhere here, it's find the right place. Yeah, so it is near the AW, near this. So I think it is this one, Service Canada building. So this picture is a bit old. Oh no, this one is, they updated it.
The opposite one.
Yeah,
This
this-
one.
So that's it there.
yeah.
Do you know what the zoning is on it?
We haven't checked yet. Yeah, I think it should be just standard commercial, or we can request the zoning from them though. We will. And then this is the surrounding area.
Yeah.
There's a Tim Hortons right here, right beside it. And there's
So
the,
let's go back to the oblique view where I can see the side where there's actual, sort of storefronts.
oh, sorry. Do you want to go back to the street view?
No, yeah, go back to the street view
Yeah.
and just, I want to see the storefronts again.
These ones or the other ones?
Yeah, no, just move to the left there so I can look down at the storefronts.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's it. A little bit further left and then, just with your wheel, look, there you go. Pull in a little bit, just go a little bit closer with your wheel. Okay, yeah, that's good. That's very useful, yeah. So
It used to be liquor store.
So what is your thinking about this? What are they asking for this building?
They're asking 2.35, but they countered back at around 2.175. And the net operating income for 2022 is around 190.
So what's the going in cap rate, Aviv?
So it's like at what they're willing to let it go right now, it's 2.17.
8.75.
8.75, yeah.
So go back to the street view again. So what we have to be thinking about is what is the long-term use of this building? Because government tenants will eventually leave. The charity tenant you probably don't want. If you look at the wall that faces the road, it's a blank wall, that's probably not the, that's probably not the best view of it. So Raj, what is your thinking behind this? Why would you buy this?
Because of, first of all, it's a good cap rate. And I don't know about the government lease. Looks like they are going to stay. They are here from long time. And there is a potential of vacant place. We can lease that one too. Altogether, if we lease this one 1,500 square feet, probably we'll get 10
$15 net. Yeah. They're expecting a $15 net on the 1,500 square feet.
Just go back to the street view though. I like to just, give it more thought as to what the long-term highest and best use is for this thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the right side or the left side?
Just the left side again, exactly where we were looking at the storefronts again. There you go, and zoom in a little bit. So how would you, Aviv, I'm going to ask you this. That's perfect. Just leave it there. We'll just, a little too close now. Back. How would you add value to this plaza or this building?
Honestly, just by renting out the empty spaces. Hopefully when the charity tenant moves out, renting that space at market rent instead of 1/3 of what it's supposed to be rented at. But other than that, it's pretty good cash flow. Just
this is mainly office space as opposed to retail space, correct?
Yeah.
So one of the things, Raj, that I would be looking at if I was buying something like this is I would want to find, at least in my mind, some uses that I call internet resistant and also pandemic resistant. In terms of, like, so, for example, your pharmacy on Ottawa Street in Almonte, people are going to be going to pharmacies for a long time, right? If you had a dentist, until the internet can, fix your teeth, people are going to be going to dentists, for a very long time. So the question I have for you is, assuming one day the government tenants go, the charity tenant goes, Raj, who are you leasing this out to? Is this going to be a professional building? Is it going to be a doctor's building? Is it going to be physiotherapy? Is it going to be registered massage therapy? Is it going to be dentist? I mean, who is going to go into this building? Because eventually those tenants will leave.
Before the government, there was a LCBO.
Not LCBO, sorry.
It's not LCBO, like liquor store.
The New Brunswick liquor or whatever they have there. So, but it could be a medical space, I guess. Like if you add a dentistry here and if we get like one medical tenant, the others will also follow. If we have medical clinic, dentistry, physio, chiro.
Yeah. So one of the things that I would do with that vacant space, can you go back to the financials again now, Aviv? If it's 1,500 square feet, what I would be looking for, I would be very choosy about who I put in there. And if you could put in a physiotherapy clinic, right? They typically need 1,500 square feet. And as people get older, Raj, you're catching up to me in age. As people get older, they need physio, right? They need all kinds of things. You know, how small could a dispensary be? I don't know if you could put a pharmacy in there. Probably not. It's probably too small. But you certainly could put in a physiotherapy clinic, because I think that the ultimate use for this, and the thing that will get you the most ROI, will be a professional building.
Yeah, even if there's if we have a medical and legal mix, like a law office with medical half.
I mean, you know, people are going to be going to lawyers for decades. People are going to be going to accountants for decades, bookkeepers. They're going to be going, like I said, to physiotherapists and dentists for decades. So a professional building is what I think. Looking at that suite one with 12,300 square feet, Raj, can you divide that up into smaller spaces, or is it impossible to divide it up? Go back to the street view again. Where is this 12,000 square foot space?
Okay, so that one is province of New Brunswick. So
The first one.
the one over here?
No, see the sign on the corner?
That's the Service Canada sign.
Yeah.
This is
Okay.
Service Canada, and then this is the address place review. But it probably we haven't actually taken a look inside it.
Are you going to go visit it? You should go and walk it. Eh?
Yeah, we'll visit it. Yeah, but
okay.
just before visiting it, we're just
When
getting
you
an
go-
idea.
When you go and visit it, can you make sure you have Zoom on your phone? And when you're walking through it, make sure that I have a chance to visit it with you on Zoom. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, because I think that the crucial thing here will be to make sure that you can divide up the spaces, because in small towns, I have a lot of experience with clients who have small town properties, including the ones I own. In small towns, the demand is for spaces, mostly for spaces that are 500, 1,000, 1,500, and 2,500 square feet. That's the demand. There are not that many users in this location that want 12,000.
12,000 square feet. Yeah.
The other thing I would want you to do, go back to the front of the building. Okay, the other thing I'd like you to look at when you're there is whether it would be possible, stop right there, please. Whether it would be possible to put, you know, some storefronts in the front of this building.
Yeah, because it's just parking right now. It's not really the best use for such a retail.
Are you following me? I want to make sure that you can buy this thing, and because Aviv is so young, over the next, you know, he could own it for 50 years. Over the next 50 years, as tenants change, as needs change, that the building can be adapted. So if you think about this, Aviv, think about how relatively simple it would be to put a storefront in where each of those wall sconces are, right? You could have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 storefronts, right? And you've got parking right in front. Raj, how much rent would you get for stores that front onto the street as opposed to run down the side? You'd get more rent, right?
Yes, obviously.
So when you go there, I want you to be thinking, you know, professional center, like you said, Aviv, maybe lawyers and accountants, but also medical professionals, right? And also think about that big space, which I suspect is right in front where it says Service Canada. If Service Canada stays for 20 years, fine. But if they left at the end of their lease, you could put storefronts in. I have done that, and it's been very successful for me to break through that brick wall in all likelihood and put some glazing in and some storefronts. Given that you actually have parking right in front, it's not that expensive, and then you divide up that space, you know, like this.
Yeah.
And you would probably get $18 a square foot instead of whatever it is you're getting.
15, yeah.
Maybe you get 20.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So I like it, but I like it with that caveat. All right, gentlemen, is there anything else that we should talk about?
So if we get a layout plan and a building plan, we'll get some idea.
Yeah, and And, you know, Aviv is becoming a professional real estate analyst now. He is. He's learning a lot, and he's really, you should be really proud of him. He's a really smart guy, and he's so mature for 21. So one of the things that,
No, he's 18.
I'm 18, sorry.
oh my God. Well, I don't know any 18-year-old like you. That you are. I have 5 kids. I love them all, but they weren't at your level at 18, Aviv. That's amazing. So one of the things that Raj will do is get the building plans and then think about how you might divide up that Service Canada space into smaller spaces, what the net rents would be. And again, if you bought this thing, how many square feet is the total building?
18,000.
18,000. Okay, so it's easy to figure out. If just give me a second here. Oh my goodness. So if we had 18,000 square feet rented at say $18 a square foot, that's $324,000 of net operating income. That's I think maybe doable. And if we use your 5.5%, Raj, well, that's worth almost $6 million.
But in this small town, we cannot do 5.5, probably 6 or 7.
I'm going to say 6.5, but even at 6.5, I think it'll still be it'll at least double in value. So let's try it times 6.5. Yeah, really 4.98 million. So it'd be about $5 million at 6.5. Right now, there's work to be done on it as well. But these are the kinds of investments that you know, if your cap rate going in is what did you say, 8%?
8 or 9, depends on
8 or 9%. With some animation stuff that we're talking about today, you could probably get it to 11 or 12%.
Even by just leasing the vacant unit, I think we get it to 10 or 11.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And over time, as I said, you'll find ways to increase it. Is there any additional land?
No, there's no. It
All
just I think most of the land is covered by.
Okay. All right, so we've got some.
Maybe we have this parking actually. Yeah.
No,
This
I think if it's 8 or 9% going in, and you can get it to 10 or 11%, that's great. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're not only thinking like of the future potential, just for like the right now potential. If we're getting a 10% cap rate, and our interest is only 6, we're gonna make our money back pretty quickly. So
Yeah, well, the minimum I set for myself and the people I coach is 8% going in, and you're over that already. And what we're looking to try and do is get 10, 11%. And if you can drive it north of that, then you know you'll do very well. So that's a good buy, I think. All right, anything else?
Bruce, you have a few minutes.
Yep,
Can we discuss one more property?
sure.
Aviv, show Bruce
which one?
the one in Alberta.
Okay. Give me 1 second. I'll have to find it. So we have, it's this one actually. Sorry.
Back a second.
This one. It's this property right here.
All right. Share your screen again.
Oh, it's not sharing?
Not yet.
Oh, sorry, I had it open. Give me a second.
Raj, do you have any other
Is it
kids?
sharing now?
Sorry?
Raj, do you have any other kids like Aviv?
I have one daughter.
How old is she?
She's 23. She's doing masters
Wow.
in Toronto.
What's the master's in?
Financial economics.
Okay. All right, Aviv, tell me about this place.
So this one is 1.9 million in Sylvan Lake, around I think 7 hours from Edmonton. It has I think 4 triple net tenants for their long-term leases, most of them. And they're asking around a 7 cap rate for it. But one of them, the only problem I saw is one of them is a church. So that may be a problem in the future. But the restaurant is kind of the anchor, and I have the financials here as well. So this is like the main stuff of it. It was built in 2010. ESA is done, and 1 acre of land. And so 130, and they're asking 1.9. So it's around a 6.8.
Yeah. Go back to the street view or go to a street view, please.
Okay.
Let's see if we can get a street view. And I guess this circular thing is the restaurant.
Yeah. Apparently it's a national restaurant. I've never heard of it, but
I've never heard of it either. Is the church a problem?
maybe problems. I don't know if pay you can't really evict them out due to ethical reasons, but that's the only thing I was thinking.
And so you've got a sushi place, you've got a restaurant, you've got a Lutheran church, and what's the one on the end there?
The one on the end is East Coast.
I
It's a
think the
market.
church is on the end.
The market, okay. Going back to what your dad said a moment ago, go back to the street view.
Yeah.
And just pan out a little bit. I wonder if there's enough room, probably not, but you could ask the question, is there enough room to build a standalone pod?
Yeah, that's what I was
Yes,
thinking.
this is 1.4 acre.
Yeah.
1
and-
acre. 1.04 acre maybe.
1.04 and only 0.7 acre is used.
Yeah, so I was wondering if there's room enough for a standalone pod there.
Right
in-
here.
If you put a pharmacy there or something that's again internet resistant. The additional income from that and the cap rate you can get from that is amazing. So I think the one thing that I would want you to do, Raj, when you're negotiating this, if in fact you buy it, is try and get a price that gives you a going in cap rate of 8%. And when you taught, and so what I would do, this is how I approach things, is I would make an offer. I'd have some conditions in it. You'll need at least 60, if not 90 days of conditions. And during that time, you should talk to the city or the town and ask, could we build a pod on the corner? And if so, how big? Because you can do that, but obviously don't tell anybody now because the price will go up. But Aviv, if you recalculate the price at an 8% cap rate, what does that give you as an offer price?
8%. 1.625.
And what are they asking for it?
1.9.
Yeah, I think I think I don't know what you think, Raj, but I think 1.625 million at an 8% cap rate in a small town like this going in makes more sense to me. What do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
And then keep it to yourself as to what you're going to do with this. Look at that. What's this town like? I mean, I've heard of it before. I might have even had a client in this location, but Aviv, one of the things that I do with these towns is I check them out on Wikipedia. Wikipedia is actually a really good source for the population, the demographics, the industry. No, perfect. Okay. Hang on a second. Let's go back up to the top. Go right up to the top. So it's a tourist destination. Okay, go down a little bit.
Yeah, it's close to
Red Deer, I think.
Red Deer.
Say that again, Raj.
Red Deer, close to Red Deer.
Yeah, I like Red.
It's in between Alberta and
Calgary and Edmonton.
and Edmonton.
Yeah, now go down to the economy. Let's look at the economy. Demographics. It doesn't say much about the economy. All right, can you go back to the street view one more time? You want to hear something I might do with this property?
Mhm.
I might put a pod on the corner there, and I might have a second floor of apartments. And because it's a tourist town, some of those apartments might be Airbnbs.
Yeah. Yeah, that could work.
Do you understand?
Mhm.
Because today, the idea of having mixed use, you know, kind of a live work condition, you know, that is a very, very strong thing. And I'll bet you on this property, if you go back to the property, Aviv, when you check out the zoning on this, I'll bet you're going to find as part of the commercial use,
Mhm.
a hotel is permitted. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So what you would do is you would have a little sketch which would show a retail bay at grade, and then second floor you would show apartments, but you wouldn't call them apartments. You would call them an Airbnb hotel.
Mhm.
Because hotel is
Yeah.
a I don't know that for a fact, but almost every commercial use like this has hotel in it. So if you ask the town, can you build residential here? They'll tell you, oh, you have to do rezoning.
Yeah.
If hotel use is allowed, many of my clients run what I call Airbnb hotels. In fact, we're going to have one open in Belleville, hopefully within a few weeks, my wife and I. And so, Rash, are you following me?
Yes.
That would add tremendously to your cap rate, especially if this is the kind of tourist town that Wikipedia is suggesting. So you would have some residential units, but they would be hotel units, Airbnb.
The hotel, yeah, right beside it as well.
Oh, wow. Which is good news. Do you understand, Aviv? That's good news.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because if you have some competition there, that's not exactly the
Yeah,
same.
but Airbnb hotel is different from, say, you know,
Comfort Inn or something, yeah.
or Comfort Inn or whatever. So that is, you have a precedent. Just your son is a genius. I have to tell you that, Raj. I mean, did you see how fast he figured that out?
Yeah.
For an 18-year-old, keep going. All right, so I really like this one, especially if you could build a pod there and have a second floor of the Airbnb hotel. All right, so listen, guys, if you go and visit these sites, whether it's this one or any other, make sure if you have Zoom on your phone so I can visit, okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think we're a bit more interested in the other one, just because of the cap rate and the tenants.
This one actually, though, might actually, depending on what is possible here, might actually even be better, or at least equally good. So let me know, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, this one has more potential to build and to
Yeah,
sell.
because the other one doesn't have much land.
That is a fantastic opportunity. It really is. I like both of them, and I'm sure we can do lots of animations, right, Aviv?
Yeah.
Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure seeing you. I'll talk to you very soon. And
Okay,
Aviv,
thank you so much, Bruce.
you're gonna get an email from me with some of the notes from.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
sure.
All right,
Thank
see
you.
later. And don't forget, I recorded this, so it'll go on YouTube.
Yeah, so just
Okay.
can you not put like the last just with us three, because all of the things were signed with an NDA?
The only people who are gonna have it is you and me and your dad.
Oh, okay, good. Because the other one was fine.
Bruce, just to let you know, because we didn't disclose these guys don't want to disclose what they are bringing, what kind of pharmacy, but it's a pharma save, but they don't want to disclose it.
No, I understand. This will just be for us. And Aviv, what I'll do is I'll Dropbox the original video to you, and you can cut out pieces that you want.
Oh, okay, because only the first half with Jasmine will be
I'll
on.
Dropbox it to you. You can cut out whatever you need.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
I'll see you guys.
Thank you. Bye.